You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the July 17th meeting for the Long Beach Police Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is Thursday, July 17th, 2025. The time is 3:01 p.m. We are here for the Long Beach Police Commission quarterly meeting. I'll do a roll call at this time. Chief Mark Swistek, I'm present. Commissioner John Coker, Commissioner Megan Applegate, and Commissioner Colleen Lane.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. Everyone is present. Under old business, we have the traffic concern from Chastleton Drive. At our last quarterly meeting, Commissioners Megan Applegate and Colleen Lane had mentioned the possibility of adding a mirror or other safety device near the intersection of Chastleton and Oriole Trail at the Blind Hill. This would be for when turning west from Chastleton onto Oriole. I have consulted with our street department superintendent. We are considering adding the mirror to the telephone pole on the west side of Chastleton as you travel up the hill from the north. I know Commissioner Applegate had put me into contact with one of the civic members. I just need to follow back up with him. I think it was just under $300 for that mirror. I just need to follow up with him again. What was his name again?
Carl.
Carl.
Yep.
The same one was the cook for the Civic. Okay. Yep. Very
So
good.
he's been busy.
All right.
Schedule freedom.
I actually met him just before the July 4th festivity. So very nice.
Yeah.
I met him for the first time. Any questions on that? All right. Under new business, the July 4th summary. The July 4th weekend went smooth with no major concerns. We responded to 94 calls for service when compared to 79 calls for service in the previous year. We made a total of 2 arrests over the weekend for ABC violation, which were directly related to underage drinking. Both the individuals were from outside of the community. Our police presence was noticeable in all 3 communities, and we received many compliments referencing the number of officers that were out on patrol and that were out on the beach. Overall, this was a very successful and safe weekend for all. Any questions? All right. Next, we have the 2025 Dodge Durango for Sergeant Seitz. The vehicle was approved last year by the town council. We received it in late May. The new vehicle is now in service. It is fully outfitted and has the new police department graphics on the vehicle and is gray in color. So if you see that vehicle out and about, that is our newest vehicle in our police fleet. And then also related to our police fleet, just to kind of give you an update, the 220, one's a 2016 and one's a 2020. We've had some catalytic converter and some tailpipe issues, exhaust issues with both of those. They have been repaired, but otherwise, for the most part, our fleet's in pretty good shape right now. Next year, we will be looking at a new vehicle for Deputy Vopat, as he is currently driving a 2020 Ford Explorer that will then go into the fleet to replace the last remaining 2016 vehicle that we have. And his current 2020 vehicle, I believe, has upwards of probably 80,000 miles on it now. So it'll definitely need to be replaced in the next 2 years here. Any questions on the police vehicles? All right. 1999 police boat is currently out of service. The police department's Boston Whaler was deployed on the July 4th weekend and unfortunately was immediately towed into B&E Marina for service. The engine on the boat is out of service and may not be able to be repaired. The parts for the older engine are very hard to find, and B&E Marina has been searching their vendors for parts. We have received an estimate of approximately $38,000 for a new engine. I shared with Commissioner Coker before the start of today's meeting that just prior to coming into this meeting, I was emailing with B&E Marina, and they have indicated that they are having zero luck finding replacement parts. They are going to send us the part number that we need for that engine that's on the boat currently. We will continue to look for parts. Meanwhile, we are not going to spend the $38,000 for a new engine. We may look for a used engine or other options. And we also have in the works, we will be applying for the federal grant with the Homeland Security, Port Security Grant. However, that grant has not yet opened for this year. Typically it does in May. It did not open yet this year. So we're just going to stay in a holding pattern until some more information can be found on the grant rather than approaching the town council for a large expenditure on a boat that's 26 years old. So, no, not at all.
Does Beanie not have anything like used something like even like?
Well, they have some used boats available. Probably 80 to $100,000 range is what we'd have to spend. And we're probably about $10,000 or less in our boat fund that was from the charitable donations that we received. So I think we'll just try the grant first and then see how that works out. Meanwhile, we'll just rely on the DNR and the Coast Guard for any calls.
They not have some sort of. No. They've got boats.
Yeah. It'd be tough because obviously we'd have to put temporary lighting on it. And then, we have a radio on ours and stuff like that. So, but it's definitely something we'll have to consider if we don't come up with any options. It'll be a winter project for us. The season, hard to believe we'll be entering into August here in 2 weeks. So.
This is the second.
Yeah. The USS Minnow is definitely, it is in need of replacement. So.
Badly.
Yeah. And it was originally obtained from Walt Disney World. And when they received it, it was at a very low cost. So obviously, the town received 25 years of service out of it. So we can't complain. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
it's
not,
lived
but
its life cycle. Yeah. Yeah. All right, moving on. Reminder of the 2025-2026 golf cart permits. This was probably one of the biggest issues that we encountered during the July 4th weekend. I myself stopped some young men that were from Graham Beach that were only 14-year-olds operating a golf cart on Golden Gate, where we had to contact the parents to come get the golf cart. And there's still parents out there that think, they can just turn loose their teenage child with a golf cart and then make sure that they're home by the time the street lights come on. They have to have our permit, which is $100 for a 2-year permit, and all operators have to be licensed drivers. So we made sure that during the July 4th weekend, we used a lot of discretion, got a lot of good information out, made a lot of stops on golf carts. I just want to get that reminder out to everybody that you have to be a licensed driver and you must have our permit permanently affixed to the front windshield or front of the golf cart. So any questions on golf carts?
Yes. So if you live in like Duneland Beach and you want to you don't have to register. Do you have to register with Long Beach if you live in Duneland Beach?
Yes. If you're going to bring a golf cart into our community and operate on the Long Beach Road.
Okay.
So I get the same question from the town of Michiana Shores, the Graham Beach residents, same thing. They're like, well, I have my Graham Beach sticker. Can I bring my golf cart into Long Beach and go to the Long Beach Country Club? You have to have our sticker as well to operate on our roadways. So, yeah, we get that question often. So, yeah, if it's operated on our roads, you have to have our sticker.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
The next one, I need some consideration and vote from the commissioners of a recommendation. So next week I have a meeting with Flock, which is the premier provider for license plate reader cameras for pretty much all of Northwest Indiana and that. And they cover quite a few territories across the United States. So the Long Beach Police Department, we're seeking quotes for license plate reader cameras to be installed in 3 entry points into the town of Long Beach. Currently, the Michigan City Police Department has a total of 60 cameras, and the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department has numerous LPR cameras across the surrounding area as well. We are proposing the installation of flock cameras on Chastleton Drive, south of Fairway, near Hacienda, one on Moore Road, just south of Mount Clair, and then a third on Moore Road at Lakeshore Drive at stop 31. The objective is we want to cover the entry points coming into the Long Beach community so that any vehicle that passes through the vicinity of our cameras, we will have a date, timestamp, and a video image of the vehicle and the license plate of every vehicle that comes into our community. We will not need one at stop 13 on Lakeshore Drive because Michigan City is in the process of installing a new license plate reader camera near Beach Walk. So anybody that passes Beach Walk, once they are east of Beach Walk and into Long Beach, past 13, they either have to turn around and go back out to the west on Lakeshore, or they have to come to our stop 22 or Golden Gate to make their way, out of town. So we'll be able to utilize the information from their camera, which will save us from putting up a 4th camera there for the town. Also, there's a camera on the Washington Park Bridge coming over, or Franklin Street Bridge in Washington Park. There's a camera there as well, which we have used previously to solve some vehicle break-ins here in Long Beach. So the way we utilize that is we had a vehicle description, and I think at the time was just like a red sedan. So during the time frame of when it was reported to us that the vehicles were being entered at night here in our community, we used that particular date range. We put in a red sedan, and then we utilized the nearest cameras to Long Beach, and we were able to get an Illinois license plate of a red sedan coming over the Franklin Street Bridge. So then what we are able to do is we can then put a notification into the system that anytime that vehicle comes back into what we put in as a geo grid, it then sends an alert to our in-car computers for our officers. And hence it did. Our officers set up at stop 16 as the vehicle came in. We then got behind the vehicle, were able to make a stop on the vehicle for a traffic infraction. And the young men that were in the vehicle were found to have blue latex gloves and everything, that was related to some of the car break-ins that we had. So some may think that this is Big Brother watching. In fact, it is not. Everywhere you go right now in any community, they have license plate reader cameras everywhere. I mean, as we drive around Porter County, Lake County, St. Joe County, you're passing them. They're at Carwick and Springling currently. They're on US 12 at 212 and 12. Near Swing Bellies, there's one as well. So you're constantly having your plate recorded as you pass through those areas. The benefit also of these cameras is if a surrounding community has a major incident, let's say they have an unfortunate homicide, they know the suspect, they put the vehicle information into the flock system, that information, if that vehicle enters into our jurisdiction, it immediately alerts us that that problem has now entered our community, tells us where it entered our community from, and then we go and search it out. And then we start looking for the vehicle and or the offender. A lot of times when people have active warrants that come out for them, the way the warrants are entered into the database is that we look for any vehicles that are registered to the individual that's wanted. And then when the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department puts the warrant into the system, they also enter an associated plate to that individual. So then that information goes into Flock. And so if an individual is wanted, let's say on a felony burglary warrant, if they were entering into our jurisdiction and maybe they're wanted in St. Joe County and their vehicle was entered into the Flock system, it alerts us that this burglary suspect has now entered our jurisdiction, and the same thing, we begin to look for that vehicle as well. So there are many, many benefits to this. Takes a color video picture of every vehicle. Yeah, nighttime video is actually very, very clear. So it captures a picture of the vehicle. Sometimes you can get an image of the driver, very seldom, but most of the time it's an overall video of the vehicle and then a clear shot of the license plate.
Are speed cameras? Or do they?
We don't have any in Indiana. They're looking at doing it out on the tollways and the interstates right now in the work zones. But otherwise, like the speed radar sign that we have on Chastleton, it's just simply, it's a radar sign, but nothing to do with recording any images or anything like that.
You said that it's like there's others.
There are, but Flock probably has the majority of the networking of the U.S. law enforcement agencies. So we are better off going with Flock because we then get all of the database and all the information from all the other nationwide.
That was my next question. Like, would two different systems talk to each other, or is it? They don't speak?
I'll have to ask. I don't think they share their information from the different systems. Like, for instance, Myers on South Franklin Street, they just recently installed their own license plate reader cameras around their property,
Okay.
and they're not Flock cameras. They're a different vendor, but they're sharing the information with the Michigan City Police Department.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if their officers are going to have full access to that or not, because they just recently did this, but even some of the apartment complexes in certain cities, they are installing Flock cameras and then sharing that with law enforcement. So for instance, L's Carwick, that plaza, they could put a Flock camera on the entrance to the plaza and they could share it with law enforcement, and that they could use a different vendor or they could use Flock. If they use Flock, we would then have access to it.
Okay.
If they use a different vendor, they would have to share that link with us to give
Okay,
us
so
access
you would have, if you have the Flock system.
of the surrounding cameras.
What the Michigan City one that's,
Mhm.
you can just access it. They don't have to like send you. Okay.
Nope. Right now, we have 0 Flock cameras in our community,
Sure.
and Michigan City allows us access to their cameras and to the LaPorte County cameras. So we have access right now. Grand Beach, Michigan just installed some Flock cameras. We have access to theirs as well. So we've been asked by the surrounding communities, when is Long Beach going to contribute to, the Flock, camera system? And I've been wanting to do it for a few years, but with the funding of the public safety building, some other expenditures we have now, I feel we're in a position. The cameras, I'll have a quote next week. They're roughly around $4,000 per camera per year. That's for the maintenance, the storage of the video to the cloud, access to the software system. So we're looking at about a $12,000 a year expenditure. Leasing them, yes.
For batteries?
Solar powered with batteries, So if you go up to Carwick and Springland, when you get to the intersection by Krieger there,
Yeah.
as you're going south on Carwick,
Yeah.
right before you come to the stop sign, look up to the right. It's on a black pole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
It's-
Yeah.
Every time you go through there, it's recording your license plate.
Okay.
So, and then there's another one on Highway 12 across from Swing Bellies. That's there as well.
Is there any problems for it in the wintertime?
There's a couple of them, if they get covered with heavy snow, that they've had to, if the battery's low, they'll have to go out and,
Logo would
dust
do
it
that?
off. No, the departments have to do that. But for the most part, I think their batteries that they're using now, or a higher lithium type battery, they're lasting longer in that. I've been told they haven't had many issues. I mean, Michigan City is now going to be up to 60 cameras. They were at 40 and they just added another 20. So they're going to be up to 60 here very soon. So we have our body cameras and our in-car cameras for the police department Previously, we were paying roughly $15,500 a year for our body cameras and in-car cameras. I was able to renegotiate the contract with our current vendor. This May, we just entered into a new 5-year contract, and I was able to reduce it from like $15,600 down to $10,200 a year. So my pitch to the council is going to be, we've cut back on some of our capital expenditures. We've gone from like 15.6 down to 10.2. So we saved like $5,400 on our in-car and body worn cameras that could now be utilized to help offset this. I'm also going to be approaching the town of Michiana Shores at some point, asking them to spend some of their lit money to put a license plate reader camera in on Old Grand Beach Road, as you would then go north on El Portal, to start there at least with one, and then maybe have them add an additional one. So that's kind of some future thoughts, but from the commission today, what I'd like is if I could get your support to move forward going to the town council and then begin exploration with the town council of getting this installed. My goal would be getting approval this fall with installation at the earliest this fall, January of 2026. There'll probably be some installation cost as well. I'll see what that will be once I get the quote. And then also when I meet with Flock next week, I will share with the commissioners and the town council. I'll be asking them in advance of us approaching the council for some information just to share with everybody about Flock and how it came about and its overall benefits to the community as well. So
I think it's a.
you gotta turn it on, John. Yeah, just press it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a needed improvement for our department and also for the safety of all of our citizens. So I would strongly recommend it. So I'd make that motion
Thank
to
you.
go take it to the council.
Second it. I think it is very important, especially with like how popular Long Beach becomes in the summer. You have people coming in, not just people who own houses or people's friends, their college friends or college friends' friends. I think it's important that we have some, are able, something goes wrong or something happens, have like that record. No, I think it's great.
Very good. So I got a motion by Commissioner Coker, seconded by Commissioner Lane. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All right, everybody's in favor. Thank you so much. Last item I have is I would like to look at purchasing for 2026 an additional ATV. The police department previously in 2024 received assistance from the Long Beach Civic Association, where we purchased a 2024 Yamaha 750cc ATV for the police department, which was utilized this summer and has been very beneficial to us. The current 2009 Yamaha 550cc that we have is experiencing transmission shifting concerns. It's still in service. Obviously a very old unit. We would like to purchase a new unit to replace that unit with. The total purchase price of the 2024 unit for the ATV itself was roughly $12,000. And then we spent an additional $3,000 on the emergency lighting, siren, decals, and then the equipment that is housed in that ATV unit. So I just wanted to throw that out to the commissioners today. That is one of our goals that we'll be looking at, hopefully adding, this piece of equipment for 2026.
Would we
to our
trade
fleet.
in the old one or?
We would probably, yeah, unless if they're going to give us next to nothing, then we'll just hold on to it until the wheels fall off of it. But they are, as Commissioner Applegate has seen from her, fire experience and that, and being a first responder for the community, it's nice for us to have these all-terrain vehicles, not only to get us off-road, but also to mobilize our staff, our first responders, both police and fire. It's like having an extra vehicle in the summer where we can put staff on it and we can send it out onto the golf course, the beach, into Moon Valley, wherever we need to go. And we receive a lot of compliments about, how we're able to get around on the ATVs around the community. So it's a big benefit to us. And I'll work with Commissioner Applegate to hopefully maybe get some additional support again from Civic if possible, and maybe from some residents as well. We'll see. So any thoughts on the ATV purchase?
I love the ATV. Really important, again, in the summer when it's really busy, that you guys have your presence. No, I think it's great.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Public comments. We have no one in attendance in the audience and only one person on Zoom. Commissioner comments. Anything you would like to add to today's meeting, Commissioner Coker?
Yeah, I've always wondered, police do an excellent job policing the beach. And the last few weekends, the last month, it's been pretty warm and pretty humid. Why doesn't the police force have like white uniforms instead of black? I mean, those guys are on there going up and down the beach. And I'm thinking,
It's so hot.
plus they got all their gear on too.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, my gosh, they hope they take plenty of water with them. Why can't we get some white uniforms?
We used to have, as I have on today, white polo shirts, but now we have gray ones, which we changed from white to gray, just for the mere fact that when you're on those ATVs and wearing your vest and that, the white gets dirty so fast. So with
Oh, okay.
our equipment, some of our equipment rubs off onto a white shirt,
Sure.
and like either the grips on our radio or from our taser, the rubber grips, and then the black rubber gets on the white shirt, and then you got a black mark on your shirt, and then it looks like you're not taking care of your uniform. So the guys went to gray. In fact, Sergeant Seitz is wearing his gray polo today. We do have shorts that the officers can wear on the beach if they choose to. But our guys, being as young as they are and they're aggressive, they don't like to wear the shorts that often, because if they had to tussle with someone, the chance of scraping a knee or something else, they choose to wear their pants. But the biggest portion of that is wearing that ballistic vest, which adds, between the vest and all the equipment that's on it, it adds probably a good 12 pounds to you. Yeah, it gets a little hot. So
Like cooler pack.
yeah. So actually some of the guys did put the ice packs underneath on the July 4th. So, but no, thanks for the comment. Commissioner Lane?
My only comment is, going back to, I feel like the underage drivers on the golf carts are, I mean, just driving around on 4th of July, there was like 12-year-old kids, like cartfuls of 12-year-old kids. And I'd be going one way and they'd be coming at me the other way and they'd be like waving. And I'm like, I know you're 12, 13 years old. I don't know what can be done about it. I mean,
We've been stopping them. Kayla actually made some really nice warning postcards now that we actually issue them, that has all the kind of the rules highlighted on there. And then we've cited, quite a few golf carts for either parking at the beach stops, or we've cited golf carts for not being registered in that. We've had golf carts that we pulled off to the side of the road where we've called the parents to come get them in that. But for instance, on the July 4th weekend, we're so busy running around doing other things that a few get by us.
Sure.
It's that we can't get them all. But no, you're right. That weekend was horrible with the underage drivers in the town and that. So
Give them a ticket.
yeah, $100 ticket. Yeah, and the second offense is even more. Actually, the underage driver one, I think, is $500. So yeah, then the second one's like $2,500. So it's pretty expensive. But no, we'll continue to work on it, but it is a handful on that July 4th.
I can't even.
So Commissioner Applegate? Yeah.
Other than Lakeshore.
Mhm.
Increased. Hey,
Wow.
oh, you guys only have. This is us.
Right.
Physically, people are around, so you can fly down the road. With Oriole, I'm seeing it a lot more with
Mhm.
flying
Yeah.
Yeah.
over these.
you know,
That's why I asked about the speed.
yeah,
Real once they,
yeah,
you know. That's why I asked about the speed.
yeah.
I know they have traffic lights.
Yeah, no, in Indiana, they don't have them yet. And then Sergeant Seitz and I talked about that very thing this morning about the difference, like today compared to a little over a week ago on July 4th. It's like the town's so quiet.
Yeah.
It's like
Like a
there's
ghost.
nobody moving today. But, back, rewind to July 3rd and 4th, it was
Yeah.
crazy with people. And next year it's going to be the same thing with it falling on a Saturday. We'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where this year we experienced Thursday night with the ice cream social. People were already coming in. It was busy on Wednesday, really going into Thursday. So we had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had a 4-day run where all of our staff were pretty much working some very long hours. And then we put in 16 hours easily on July 4th, but went off with no issues and everything was great. So, no complaints. All right, with that, our next meeting will be September 18th at 3 p.m. And I'll ask for a motion to adjourn at 3:34 p.m.
I'll make a motion.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone.